Are you ready to become a leader and change maker by getting your PhD? Ready to stop stressing and actually take action so you create offer letters instead of rejections? Then this is the spot for you. I'm Dr. Natalie Morse, and I'm here to help you get into your dream PhD with full funding. Let's go. Welcome to the podcast. I'm Dr. Natalie Morse, and you are going to make a lot of decisions as you apply for your PhD, once you start, as you're launching your next career phase, and all the other stuff in between. So I want to get into how to make really good, tough decisions and feel good about it. This isn't focused on the strategy of exactly where you should be applying or exactly your research focus, anything like that. This is high level because it sets the stage for everything you do. If you're not understanding why you're making your decisions or why you're having a hard time making them, how can you move forward and be successful? So that's exactly what we're going to be getting into today. It's that framework that's going to help you make better and better decisions and create better and better results. Because most of us are tired of the status quo. But if we're not onto ourselves, or at least cognizant and conscious of why we're making our decisions, we tend to default to the status quo. Human beings hate change. So even if the status quo you're not in love with, your brain is like, let's just stay here. It's safe. It's easy. I know it. I don't need to move forward or do anything different. But you are here to make changes. You are here to start your PhD and become an amazing leader. And that all starts with the decisions that you're making. So today I'm going to break it down. We're going to go through 4 things. Number 1, why does making a decision feel hard? Number 2, what's really keeping you stuck? Number 3, our 5-step process on how to make a really good decision and feel really good about it. And as a bonus, I'm going to walk you through my recent decision-making process for my investment in my most recent coach and mentor, spending thousands and thousands of dollars. How did I make that decision? How did I feel good about it? Was it easy? What did I do? I'm going to walk through everything and break it down, showing you this framework and how to put it into use today. So why does it feel hard to make a decision? Like, we make $1 million in a day, so it shouldn't be this hard. That could be the reason. There's mental fatigue. There's the paradox of choice. Having too many choices, it feels like our brain has to sift through all this information. And again, we would rather just default to the status quo than have to do all that work. It feels hard. It feels heavy. Then, of course, there's perfectionism. There's a 2021 study that shows your past hardships or trauma are big predictors on how much of a perfectionist you are. And if you're like me, we feel like there is some magical way to do something. And if we only can press the right buttons in the right order, it's all going to work out. But we are trying so desperately hard to guarantee the future that we want for ourselves that we're almost shooting ourselves in the foot, because we're staying stuck in this decision paralysis for way too long while everybody else is making decisions and moving forward. Even if they're making bad decisions, they're still able to learn from that, collect the data, grow, make a better decision next. They're able to make 5 decisions while we're still stuck in analysis paralysis and perfectionism mode, because we want the future to be so perfect that we can't let little tiny steps get us there. We are looking for some amazing, perfect thing, all the planets in the universe to line up, and that keeps us stuck. It feels hard because it feels like letting go of that idea of perfectionism is somehow giving up, somehow saying, I can't get it right, when in reality, it's the exact opposite. It's the saying, I trust myself to take the little steps today that I can see, and that eventually I'll get there. Another 2010 study said that the lack of structure and confidence makes decision-making hard. It leads to anxiety and avoidance behaviors. So if any of these sound like you, where you want to do something, but the decision feels impossible or feels like you don't know exactly the right thing to do, so you're going to ask 1 million people. You're going to be Googling and Reddit and YouTube for hours and hours. You're going to forget about it for a month or a year or 5 years and then come back to it and do the same thing all over again. It's kind of like your brain is happy going in that loop, going in that groove, because it knows it. It knows what that looks like. It knows, hey, you're going to Google for 10, 20 hours and then you're going to eventually lose steam, and woohoo, I get to stay here and still stay safe in my status quo. I don't have to do anything different. But what's really keeping you stuck is you don't trust yourself to make a good decision, which is insane, because I guarantee you're a high achiever. I guarantee you've made 1 million good decisions up to this point. I kind of think you made the best decisions, and I challenge that thought. If you look back on a lot of decisions you made and where you are, You've made good decisions, but there could have been better ones. We'll just never know. So I would like you to give yourself a little bit of grace too, to think about, where have I been? How far I've come? Amazing. You've probably created amazing results for yourself and opportunities. But there's probably 100 other things that you didn't do. That's okay. Look where you are. You're still having an amazing life. You're still living well. Doesn't mean that you made every right decision. And you don't have to make every right decision going forward to have amazing outcomes and the life that you want and deserve. A lot of this, of course, is baked into our culture. Everybody has a different culture, microculture, country, group, community, whatever you want. But in the US, at least I'll speak for myself, the capitalist culture, we were pretty much told, do it this way and it will work out. Or do it this way and you won't get ostracized. And we are human beings. We don't want to feel like we're not part of the group. We don't want to feel like we are less than. So we do it the way that everybody else has to do it. And then when we have decisions to make that are tough and they have conflicting ideas, we're looking for that path. Like, hey, where's the thing that you told me I could do that it would all work out? And it's not there anymore. So then we have to use our own brain, which is uncomfortable because there's no guarantee that your decision is going to be perfect. So that's what's keeping you stuck, probably, is this thought that there is one perfect way to do something and there just isn't. If you know what you want, trust yourself to go figure it out. Yeah, you might get it wrong along the way, but you're not going to get it wrong forever. You're going to figure it out. And so if you keep going and moving in that direction, you're going to have way better results and feel better than if you are still waiting. Because the really successful people make 10 decisions before the rest of us have even made one. And 2 of those decisions were bad. 6 of them were okay. And 2 of them were really amazing decisions. But hey, they're still light years ahead of everybody else waiting on the sidelines. I think Olympians are a really good example here. They train, they have to make a million decisions, right? The training regimen, what they're going to eat, who they're going to work out with, where they're going to do it, should they go on that trip, a million decisions. And they work as hard as they do with the thought and belief that if I do everything I possibly can, I give myself the opportunity, the small chance to win, to be great. And they're willing to take that risk. They are willing to say, this is worth it to me, this chance of greatness, than to stay on the sidelines. That is a very strong mentality that you need to cultivate as well. How do you get this confidence to say, it's worth it for me, to go for it? I would argue that you probably already have it, that somehow along the way, people have told you didn't have it, or some things haven't worked out and you're convinced that's now a pattern and it's really not. So if you want confidence in yourself to make good decisions, you got to start now. It's not going to fall from the sky. You got to start with little decisions right now and make that commitment to yourself. All right, how do we make good decisions? Let's walk through a 5-step process. I'm actually borrowing from one of my friends. Her name is Kirsten Parker. I'll put her name in the show notes. She is a decision coach. This is what she does. She's like, how do you make good decisions? So I was talking to her about it and understanding her process and using it, adapting it to what works for me and my clients. And I'm going to share with you our 5-step process to make a really good decision, even when it's tough, so that you feel really good about it. Number 1 is we let our wants drive the bus. She has this really good analogy where, if you're in a bus driving around town and you don't have a map and you're just driving in circles, where are you going to go? You have a million other places that you might be driving to that are not the library, but you have no map to get there. You're just like, frickin' avoid the library at all costs. Versus if you let the wants drive your bus, you're like, hey, I want to go to the park today. Boom, you know exactly where you're going. You drive the bus, you get there. You don't need to worry about passing the library or getting distracted by the library because it's not on your map. It's not what you're going to do. So I identify with this a lot because I always catastrophize and think about the worst case scenario. What if, and what about that? It doesn't do me any good because I don't want those things to happen. Why am I wasting energy thinking about them instead of what I do want to happen? Then I can put energy where it needs to be and be a lot more successful. The next step, step 2, is examining your beliefs. Once you have a want or desire, there's probably stories that we're telling ourselves about that want or desire. I'm not good enough. It's too hard. Everyone will think I'm an idiot. oh no, this is going to mean that my partner's going to have to move across country with me and they're going to hate it. Whatever stories we're telling ourselves, our beliefs about that want are going to change how we move forward or don't move forward. Number 3 is naming the stakes. If this thing that I want does or doesn't happen, what do I do about it? For this example, if I don't get into my PhD, what happens? Do I fall off a cliff and die? Or do I just keep working my job that I've been working and life goes on? What are the stakes here? And then the next step is the if-then game plan. Bad thing happens, what will I do about it? If this good thing happens, what will I do about it? And that gives our brain an off-ramp. Our brain doesn't have to worry about the million scenarios that could happen. It becomes very clear, if I don't get into my PhD program, I will keep working this job. Or if I don't get into my PhD program, I will pivot into a new career, right? Okay, great. And my brain goes, that's not so bad. It tells me exactly what I want to do with that information. And so my brain can move forward knowing what the stakes are. The last part is making the decision. That's a 2-step process. It's if I'm going to do it, and then it's when I'm going to do it. Because just deciding to do something doesn't help you if you don't actually have a plan to carry it out. Otherwise, you end up, again, back in the same loop of thinking to do it, but never actually doing it. Okay, do you want me to take you through my thinking process, the 5-step process, and when I decided to invest in my business mentor and coach? All right, let's do it. So number 1, I had to go with my wants. I want to grow my business in a sustainable way. I want to make more money and have a bigger impact and feel good while I'm doing it. That's my want. And then I have to examine my beliefs about that want. There's a lot of thoughts that could come up, like I'm not good enough, it'll never work. But the thought or the belief that's really loud to me is I already have a really great business. I just want to make it better. And that feels good to me. It feels, I know I'm totally capable. I just see that I want to make it better. I want to grow. I want to improve. I want everything to be better. And there are people out there that have done what I want to do, and I want to learn from them. I don't want to keep doing the same thing for the next 10 years and hoping it works out. I do genuinely believe that other people know more than me and that I can learn from them. The next phase, I had to name the stakes. If I invest in my business and it still fails, I'm out a couple $1,000s. I would have liked that money to invest or to travel or to buy fun clothes with, but nothing really changes with my life if I don't have that money. So the stakes are to keep things status quo, which is great. I love my life. Or spend some money and hopefully make it even better. The next phase is the if-then game plan. If my business doesn't grow, if I spend money and invest and it still feels like, hey, I'm not going where I want to go, I want to pursue other opportunities. That's open to me. If things do working out, then I want to continue pushing and growing, and I'll probably invest more. And these are good things, lots of good opportunities. And then the decision part. So the 2-step process is if I'm going to do it. Do I want to invest in a business mentor, coach to help me? My answer is yes, because I want to grow. There's somebody who has already done what I want to do. I don't want to keep wasting my time. It's a no-brainer for me. And then the question is when? What's going on in my life? For me, the answer is now, because the longer I wait, the less time I have to capitalize on those gains, right? The time value of my time and my money. So if I start improving things now, I'm going to have more opportunities to tweak it and make it better and grow and just create better outcomes. That's how I make that decision. Okay, let's walk through the actual options, because as I start to be like, hey, what's going on? The internet knows, the algorithm is starting to target me with ads and things. And so I'm going to walk you through the 4 options that I was looking at and how I actually evaluated them and made that decision. So number 1, there's this person that I follow on LinkedIn who is just super cool, really great at storytelling and sharing her story and in a very authentic way. And I think that's really important to connect with people who might want to work with you. So I was like, okay, she's on my list. The next person was a coach who I know from a different entrepreneurial world, and she is a business/divorce coach. And so I'm not getting divorced, but I freaking love her. She is fantastic. I love her brain. I love everything she's doing. I've worked with her a little bit in the past. She's just so supportive, super sharp, and has a great business. So I'm like, okay, like I see that she's successful. Like I think I could learn from her. Okay. So that's the second choice. So the first choice was Courtney Johnson. The second choice, Megan Norris. And then the third choice, these last 2, the third one, I got a Instagram ad for. And so I clicked through and I was like, okay, this sounds pretty cool. So I put her on my list. Her name's Katie Floyd. And then the fourth one, I think I was Googling for something about how to do this thing. And then I got this targeted ad for Brendan Burns coaching. And so then I clicked and walked through and saw his little training and felt like it was really aligned with what I wanted to do with my business. And so felt like a good fit. So I put him on my list. These are people that could help solve my problem. And then I had to decide, how do I want to solve my problem? Because there's not one right way to do this. They all have different expertise and strategies and a viewpoint on how to do this. And I wanted to think about what made sense for me. So I backed up and evaluated, where am I today? Where do I want to go? How do I think I'm going to get there? And a lot of what I was looking for, because my business is already good. It's not like I have never started a business and I'm like super confused. So I do have an idea of what I want. I am looking for product refinement, helping my marketing process and the sales process as well to be tighter, to have more of a structure to it. So that way it grows and my team can grow and be successful and sustainable. There are other people's processes who might not align with my vision. So let me walk through everybody else's promise. So the first person, Courtney Johnson, her promise, basically the problem she's going to help me solve, is to climb Cringe Mountain and leverage the power of LinkedIn to build my personal brand and my business. I like that, honestly. I don't hate LinkedIn. I think it could be a super great place to grow. And that is 4 weeks, meeting as a group for 4 weeks, and that's $1,500. I think that would be valuable. I really do. And then the next one, Megan Norris, she's doing a divorce business accelerator for 6 months. And it's a group coaching program. I'm not a divorce coach. So I was like, I don't know if this is exactly for me, but I mean, growing a business is still, there's a lot of the same things. So I thought it might make sense. And that is a group style as well. And so you're getting weekly group sessions and you can have Q&A support. And that was for 6 months and that's $15,000. Okay. Then the next one, Katie Floyd, her thing was increasing sales without doing sales calls. Hey, have people text you and you'll be like, yep, cool, great, let's work together. And they'll just sign up and give you money and it'll all be great because she's got the whole process figured out. And that's 12 months for $25,000. And that's just group calls, I think, monthly. The other one, the Burns coaching, they were like, let's do that by dialing in your marketing and your program and your product and making sure the sales process is good. So they were hitting specific key areas that I was like, okay, these are really what I want to work on. And that is 5 months and $10,000. And it's a group coaching model with some one-on-one as well, where you get to meet with somebody throughout the program as well. These are not bad options, but I really had to zone in on what problem I wanted to solve and what skills I wanted to gain through investing in myself. I don't invest in myself just because it's fun. I genuinely want to gain skills and get better at something and have better results. I thought that the first option, to work with the LinkedIn person, I think it would be helpful. I just don't think it would really move the needle for me. So I feel like that's something that I could layer on. And then also other coaches could help me on a little bit, is like how to position on LinkedIn. So I X'd that one off my list. And then for the next 3, I'm going to walk through how I communicated with these people and how I felt through the sales process. Do I want to work with these people? So the first one, Megan, I reached out to her via email. I was like, hey, I want to know more about your new program. How will this work? Is there a structure? What are you really going to be covering? And she responded lovely. And I don't think she'll mind that I share that. She just loves everything. And she truly believes that people get to make the best decisions for themselves. And so I did. She was like, yeah, I'm still developing it out. Of course, we're going to modify it for the group and it's going to be amazing. You're going to love it. You absolutely will have a great experience in here. And I don't doubt that I would. It's just, I didn't see exactly what problem it was solving for me, other than being more confident, showing up better on social media and growing that brand. I, again, have the other pieces of my business that I wanted to focus on to gain those skills. So I didn't think that was the best fit for me. And then the next one, Katie Floyd, that $25,000 12-month group thing where you get no one-on-one attention whatsoever. So her whole thing is I can sell in text. We never have to have phone calls. So we had a DM conversation. And when I sent her the first DM and she responds, yep, you'll be a great fit. And I was super skeptical because we had like literally exchanged 10 words. I think I may have sent her a link to my website or something. So I know she could have looked around, but I was sus. Okay, let's pull up the conversation I had with Katie, who was trying to enroll me in her program, right? All through text. She's like, you don't need sales calls. And coming from a person who has sales calls, it is difficult because people don't know where the link is or they don't show up. So I reach out, I send her my application, and she says, hi, Natalie, I got your application. I'd love to hear more about your offer. Who do you envision to be your ideal client? And I said, hi, Katie, or Katie's team. You can see our current offer here, and gave her the link. In a nutshell, we're a consulting company helping people get into PhD programs with full funding to become leaders. Our ideal client is someone motivated, high achieving, has research experience, and wants to have a bigger impact while allowing their career to grow. And she said, I love this. You're perfect for the program. We're ready to fill up your program on autopilot. Your offer definitely has what it takes. You just need the blueprint. Emoji, fire, hot. I can send you the training that'll break it down. Let me know if you're interested. And I say, curious, what about me and my offer make it seem like a good fit? Or what would be a bad fit person? Because these were all automated messages. So how do I know she even looked at my stuff at all? How do I know I am going to be a good fit and create good results and actually learn skills from her and her team? And she's like, people who are not a good fit are those who don't have a real tangible program. It's difficult to gain clients if you don't have a proven or tangible offer. I go, okay, got it. She says, yeah, the only thing that changes is the way you communicate your done-for-you service, and I can help you with that. And I go, we're not a done-for-you service because we work with you. I can't write applications for you. That'd be unethical. So we do things with you and help you. So I try to tell her that, and she goes, oh, thank you for clarifying. And then she sends me the link, and that's where I'm like, okay, it's $25,000 to be on a group call once a month. I don't really know how much skills I'm going to gain from that. I had to think about myself and what I wanted. And I was like, this is just one strategy. And if that one strategy doesn't work, I don't have any other skills that I'm gaining from working with this person. So then that leads me to the coach I did actually choose to work with. That's Brendan Burns' team. And I randomly just found him on an ad, Googled him, and I was like, oh, this seems really good. He does exactly what I'm looking for to help me grow my business and in these ways with sustainability. And he has a team that's going to be supportive. And so I had a call with them, and they were like, yep, we can absolutely help you do that. This is how we're going to do it. We're going to do these 4 steps. And I was like, great, sign me up. And so I literally just signed up. I think I found out who he was and signed up within 2 days. It's so funny that I did that because I have a lot of stories in my head that people need to totally identify with you as a person to want to work with you. But I also feel like people just want people to solve their problems. And that's exactly what I wanted. I was like, how do I solve this problem? Can you help me? Oh, and the price was $10,000 for 5 months. So it made sense. It wasn't $25,000. It wasn't, $1,000, right? You kind of know you get what you pay for a little bit. So I was like, I want something that's actually going to move the needle. And I get to meet with these people one-on-one so they can get to know me and dive deeper into what I'm working on and make it better. So that's why I chose them. And when you're thinking about solving your problems, I think it's okay to do this. I think it's okay and probably a good idea to think about, what problem am I trying to solve? How do I want to solve it? I could have just spent 10 grand on a marketing team, right? I could have said, hey, go figure this out. Go make me a new website or make the copy better so it's more resonating with people, right? Or I could have spent 10 grand on doing an in-person event. There's a million ways to solve my problem. I just have to pick what I think makes the most sense for me. And that's how I did that. So this is a good framework to use. So use the 5-step process when you need to make really good decisions that are tough, meaningful, and you want to have amazing results. So first, think about your wants. Second, think about your beliefs around those wants. 3, name the stakes. Number 4, your if-then game plan. And number 5, make that decision. If and when, and you're good to go. You're gonna be off to the races, and you're gonna create amazing results because everybody else is stuck over here making 0 decisions and you've already made 10. So go get it done.